Hey, word nerds, this is Spencer. Welcome to the dictionary. I'm going to talk fast because some of the words in this episode are about being speedy. All right, maybe I shouldn't go too speedy because that might be hard for some people and irritating. But we'll talk about fast stuff later. Maybe I'll talk kind of fast. I am recording this on April 28th. 9:48 a.m. It's a Sunday. Oh yeah, taking my Sunday morning time to get work done. Hopefully I get something done in the next few hours before I gotta go. Let's see. Oh, yesterday, my wife and our niece went to C2E2 in Chicago, and oh my gosh, we had never been before, and it is crazy and crowded and hectic and expensive. And there's lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff going on. But it was quite an experience, and we got to meet a couple of famous people and get a couple of photos and autographs. Definitely not as much as I would have liked, but like I said, the money, you got to pay for all that stuff. I mean, going to an event like that is worth it just for the people watching. It's just so fun to see what people are dressed up as, and a lot of the stuff I did not recognize, but it was lots of spider people. Very, very many spider people. It was a good time. Oh, and I got, I can grab this. Hello. I did not think I would ever get one of these, but I got, boom, the Weird Al, wow, bad reflections, the Weird Al fat costume Funko. I am very, very happy that I finally got one of those. Okay, let's talk about the words. The first word in this episode is expected value. 2 words. Noun from 1915. Number 1 is the sum of the values of a random variable with each value multiplied by its probability of occurrence. What? The sum? Okay. The sum of the values of a random variable with each value multiplied by its probability. So you got like 10 numbers, and let's say each one has a probability of 1 out of 2, then you multiply the numbers by that probability, and then you total all of those up. I don't know. I don't understand. This seems like a statistics thing, maybe. I'll put a link in the show notes for expected value. I took statistics in high school. I don't know why. I probably didn't need to, shouldn't have, whatever. But I don't remember if this was part of that. So yeah, link in the show notes for expected value. But we also got number 2. This is the integral of the product of a probability density function of a continuous random variable and the random variable itself when taken over all possible values of the variable. I also have no clue what this one is about, or what we're doing with this stuff. I don't know. So go look at the show notes if you want to learn more about expected value. If this is like, ooh, yeah, I want to go to school for that. All those variables, that's my stuff. Expected value is my jam. And maybe my jelly. Okay, sound effect today is going to be... The next word is expectorate. This is a noun from 1782, and it is an agent that promotes the discharge or expulsion of mucus from the respiratory tract. Ooh, but broadly, an antitussive agent. Expectorant is also an adjective. So this is something that you're going to maybe inhale or something, maybe breathe in. That's also, that's what inhaling is. It promotes the discharge of or expulsion of mucus. So if you've got all this mucusy stuff in your lungs and you sound like, I don't know, maybe not that bad. Maybe when you cough, it's just like gurgly. I don't know. I can't do it. Because I guess I don't have any mucus in my respiratory tract right now. It's going to help to get that stuff out of there. So yeah, this sounds like an important thing. I don't know why it's called expectorant. Maybe the next word will give us a bit more information with that. So we go The next word is expectorate. Verb from 1601. We are starting with transitive. Number 1, to eject from the throat or lungs by coughing or hawking and spitting. I don't feel like the word hawking is one that we use so much in this 21st century. You hawk it up. I guess I say hawk. I'm going to hawk up a loogie. So this seems like maybe a little bit of a holdover from older versions of this definition. So if you got some stuff in your throat, in your lungs, your chest, and you got to get it out of there, you got to expectorate it. Oh, I feel like I always have stuff to expectorate. We don't need to talk more about that. Except number 2, the synonym is spit. Not going to spit here in my beautiful office. That's an outside thing. Also, a lot of people are really grossed out by spitting. When I'm doing it myself, I don't mind. I guess I don't love it when other people are doing it, but some people are like, please don't ever do that again in my presence, please and thank you. It's pretty gross, but also like, if I got hey, let's TMI it up, let's do it. If I got a whole bunch of snot in my nose and I don't want to, and I can't blow my nose, I'm outside, and I don't want it to drip out, I'm gonna sniff it in, and it's gonna go into my throat. But then I'm like, or in my mouth, and I'm like, well, I don't want to swallow that. I'm not into that. I don't want to have that. I don't want to ingest it. Why would I do that? What's the point of that? So I want to get it out. So yeah, I'm going to expectorate it out. That's what I want to do with that stuff. It's all right. Was that good for you? As good for you as it was for me? Okay. Now we have intransitive, which is number 1, to discharge matter from the throat or lungs by coughing or hawking and spitting. So the first one was to eject. You are eject. What is the difference? Ejecting, discharging, transitive, intransitive, they're the same thing. Number 2, again, the synonym is spit. Spit is intransitive and spit is transitive. Whatever way you're feeling, transitive, intransitive, go ahead and spit. Spit it out. I used to call myself Spittin' Spencer because spittin' was my favorite time. Spittin' makes me feel so good. Expectoration, that is a noun. So this word is from the Latin expectorare, which means, this is interesting. Ooh, this is some good etymology. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so expectorare means to banish from the mind. Open your mind. I just watched the Rick and Morty episode last night where somebody was saying open your mind a lot. That was great. So to banish from the mind, this is taken to mean literally to expel from the chest. Okay, let's dig into that. That is from the ex prefix plus pector or pectus, which means breast or soul. Interesting, because your pectoral muscles there are on your chest. Those are your breasts, male or female. Everybody's got them. And maybe because your heart is in that region too, people were like, well, that's where your soul is. So pectus also means soul. And then you can make a connection to soul, to mind, the thing that is making this body alive maybe is the mind, the soul. So getting it out of that space, this is an interesting connection. Okay, there's more at the word pectoral. Yeah, so yeah, expectorate, expectorant is literally getting stuff out of the chest. And I guess you could also use it if you want to get something out of your mind, out of your brain. Don't think about that thought. Expectorate it. Banish from the mind. Fascinating word. Way more interesting than I expected. Okay, now, next word. This one is expedience. Noun from 1548. And the synonym is expediency, which is the next word, which I will now do. Expediency. Noun from 1597, number 1, the quality or state of being suited to the end in view. The quality or state of being suited to the end in view. What does that mean? The synonyms are suitability and fitness. I'm trying to think about this one while I'm talking at the same time, and that never works. Being suited to the end in view. This is a thinker. Maybe it's not that complicated. You are suitable for a thing, you expediency? I'm not sure. Okay, number 2 is obsolete. To A, the synonyms are haste and dispatch. All right, well, I know expediency is about being speedy, so haste, that makes sense. To B is an enterprise requiring haste or caution. Expediency, yeah, we don't really use it that way. Number 3 is adherence to expedient means and methods. You are adhering to the means and methods that are expedient, as in, put more emphasis on expediency than on principle. And that is a quote from W.H. Jones. I'm just going to guess William Henry Jones. 3 very generic names. So put more emphasis on expediency than principle. William Henry Jones, W.H. Jones, I don't know if it's William Henry, they were saying that you should possibly put more emphasis, speed should be more important than principle. And I don't know if that's, I think I disagree with that. Now, granted, I am taking his statement, their statement, completely out of context, so I have no idea what they were talking about. Maybe he was saying that, or maybe they were saying that somebody else was putting more emphasis on expediency than on principle. Maybe WH was not suggesting that. I don't know. Okay, number 4 is a means of achieving a particular end, and the synonym is expedient, which is our next word. A means of achieving a particular end. It's just how you get to the end of the journey, the whatever it is. What's the end goal? How do you get there? Expediency? Expediential is an adjective. Okay, well, hey, we should now talk about the next word because it's related. Expedient, first form, adjective from the 14th century. Number 1, suitable for achieving a particular end in a given circumstance. In a specific situation, it's suitable for achieving the end of that situation. This is not at all how I'm familiar with this word. I think of this word as being fast. So we got one more definition, though, and another form. So number 2 is characterized by concern with what is opportune, but especially governed by self-interest. Ooh, this is interesting. Characterized by concern with what is opportune. What is, I'm going to be opportunistic. I'm going to take my opportunity to do a thing. I am concerned with my self-interest, governed by self-interest. My self-interest is the most important thing. I am living my life. I'm just trying to word this another way. I'm living my life focused on myself, so I am governed by self-interest. Expediently is an adverb. Yeah, this is different. But what is great here is that we have synonym information, so maybe that'll help us get a little bit more information. I still am. I don't know. Is my use of this word or is my understanding of this word different than what this word really is? It's entirely possible. Okay, the synonym information for expedient reads as such. Expedient, politic, and advisable mean dictated by practical or prudent motives. Practical or prudent, It's very prudent, it's smart, it's wise. Okay. Expedient usually implies what is immediately advantageous without regard for ethics or consistent principles, as in a political expedient decision. So that decision was political, first of all, and it was expedient because it had no regard for ethics or consistent principles. That seems... So it's like, we want to do this quickly, immediate, advantageous, want to get to an advantageous position very quickly, and we don't care how we get there. Okay, the next one, politic, stresses judiciousness and tactical value, but usually implies some lack of candor or sincerity, as in a politic show of interest. You're not being sincere, but stresses judiciousness and tactical value, but usually implies some lack of candor or sincerity. I will not remember how to use these words. I am familiar with them, that they exist, but I don't know how to use them. Okay, advisable. Advisable applies to what is practical, prudent, or advantageous, but lacks the derogatory implication of expedient and politic, as in, sometimes it's advisable to say nothing. I should probably listen to that advice. Practical, prudent, or advantageous. It is practical and prudent and advantageous to say nothing sometimes. A lot of people should listen to that as well. Lacks the derogatory implication of expedient and politic. Okay. Interesting word. Let's see. Anything in the etymology that we want to talk about? This is from the Latin verb expedire, which means to extricate or prepare, or also be useful, from ex plus ped or pes, which means foot, your foot. And there's more at the word foot. So I don't know how they went from foot to extricating, preparing, being useful. I guess if you're walking around, you might be extricating. You're being useful if you're walking around doing stuff like, hey, can I help you? Hey, can I help you? You're using your feet to do that, I guess. All right. Yeah. Let's try the second form and see if it gives us anything else. The second form of expedient. Expedient is a noun from 1630, something expedient, and also a temporary means to an end. How do you get to this thing? We got to do this thing. We got to do it. We'll cut corners. We'll cut corners to get there. So that's being expedient. We want to get there a little bit quicker. We don't got time. We don't care about the ethics of how we get there. We just got to get there. Okay. A synonym is the word resource. So a resource is a way that you will get to a thing. All right. Well, that word was not quite what I was expecting. Apologies for any ribble-rabble that was confusing, but let's keep on going. The next word is expedite. This is a transitive verb from the 15th century. Number 1, to execute promptly. Yes, this one is definitely about quickness, speed. Come on, let's get going. Got to execute it promptly. Number 2, to accelerate the process or progress of, and also speed up. Speed up. Are you telling me to speed up? Okay, number 3, the synonyms are issue and dispatch. There's no additional etymology because I think it was probably pretty similar to expedient. So now we will move on to the next word. It's like I'm talking in fast motion. The next word is expediter with an ER or an OR. The expediter. This is definitely a villain who just likes speeding things up. He's like, come on. Maybe he's got a button that can speed up time. It's going to expedite things. That's an interesting power. Okay, expediter is a noun from 1891, one that expedites. Specifically, one employed to ensure efficient movement of goods and supplies in a business. They are trying to save money, and so they will pay somebody to make sure that everything is running as efficiently as possible. People aren't doubling up work. They're trying to cut corners as much as possible. They probably wouldn't say cut corners. They'd probably just say, we're just trying to be efficient. We're trying to smooth out the process. Don't do things that we don't need to do so things can be quicker and we can save some money, because that's what it's all about. But also, I mean, if you're doubling up work that's unnecessary, then yeah, it just makes sense to expedite that process. Okay, that's it for that one. Blah, 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 blah. The next word is expedition. Expedition. Noun from the 15th century. Number 1A is a journey or excursion undertaken for a specific purpose. What might that specific purpose be? I don't know what you want to do. It's your purpose. You're going on a journey for a purpose. You got to find yourself. Maybe you got to eat, pray, love. What do you got to do? You're going to find yourself out there in the open. Go on an expedition. So this one specifically is about a purpose. There's a purpose behind this journey. I don't know if this podcast is an expedition, but it is a journey. Okay, 1B is the group of persons making such a journey. The expedition is on the expedition. Maybe the expedition is to go to the top of Mount Everest, which sounds like it's way more popular than it should be. How many people are able to do this? It's expensive. It's hard. You need to train. People have literally died up there. Oh, but I gotta find myself up there on the top of Mount Everest. Okay, number 2 is efficient promptness, and the synonym is speed. Expedition. Well, yes, I don't really hear it used that way, but if you look at expedite, expediter, expedient, it only makes sense that expedition is about speeding things along. Efficient promptness, yeah, speed, okay. Number 3 is a sending or setting forth. Sending forth, setting forth. Go get on your way. Get on that sled and take a trip down the hill. I'm going on an expedition. I'm going on an expedition. Doesn't sound quite as good as I'm going on an adventure. A synonym is the word haste. Haste, H-A-S-T-E. Expeditioner is a noun. Next is expeditionary. Expeditionary. Adjective from 1817 of relating to or being an expedition. Also, sent on military service abroad, as in an expeditionary force. Oh yes, those military people, they're definitely going on expeditions. There's a purpose. They got a mission. Mission impossible? We have one more word for this episode, and it is the word expeditious. E-X-P-E-D-I-T-I-O-U-S. This is an adjective from 1599, marked by acting with prompt efficiency. A synonym is the word fast. Sometimes I am expeditious with these episodes. I used to be more expeditious back in the A's and the B's when I wasn't adding so much color commentary, which probably often is pretty stupid, but that's okay. So yes, marked by or acting with prompt efficiency. Speaking of, let's keep on going. Expeditiously is an adverb, and expeditiousness is a noun. Expeditiousness. Okay, with that now, we must pick a word of the episode. We had expected value, expectorant, expectorate, expedience, expediency, expedient, expedient, expedite, expediter, expedition, expeditionary, and expeditious. Okay, well, it was a lot about journeys and speed and the end of a journey, getting things done. I'm kind of tempted to pick expectorate, though, just getting it out something out of your lungs. I gotta expectorate. Huh! I gotta expectorate the loogie. Huh! Huh! Okay, fine. I don't believe I have another movie to tell you about, and I got a whole bunch of stuff to do, so that's gonna be it for this expedient episode. Thank you. It was a little expedient. Thank you, everybody, for checking out this show. And until next time, which will be probably tomorrow, this has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.